Welcome to the Deep Dive, the show that cuts through the noise to get you well informed, fast. Today, we're exploring something that has, well, truly captivated millions. The FIRE movement. Financial independence, retire early. It sounds pretty radical, doesn't it? It's a real departure from, the traditional script of work and life.
It promises a unique kind of freedom, and we're going to unpack exactly what that means for you.
That's right. Our mission here is to really peel back the layers on FIRE. We want to dive into its core ideas, reveal the surprising mechanics that make it tick, and maybe shine a light on some realities that get overlooked.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're here to help you understand if this whole quest for financial freedom is, well, truly feasible for your own life.
Okay, so at its heart, FIRE has these two connected goals, right? First is financial independence, FI. Basically, having enough assets, investments, making enough money on their own to cover your expenses, no need for a traditional job.
Mm-hmm.
And the second part is retire early, or stopping that 9-to-5 grind, potentially decades sooner than most people think possible. Yeah, and the whole philosophy, it kind of hinges on rethinking money, not just as cash, but as, well, life energy. It's this idea from the book Your Money or Your Life, the finite hours you trade for wages. It's a pretty profound shift when you think about it that way.
It really is. So how do people actually figure out how much they need for this liberation? What's the math?
Right, the core math. It often revolves around the 25x rule. You basically estimate your annual expenses in retirement, multiply by 25. That's your target, your FIRE number.
Okay, annual expenses times 25. Got it.
And the flip side of that is the 4% rule for withdrawal. The idea is you can take out 4% of your initial portfolio value the first year, adjust for inflation each year after, and likely not run out of money. But, and this is a big but for early retirees, the original study assumed a 30-year retirement.
Oh, right. If you retire at 40, you might need that money to last 50, maybe 60 years.
Exactly. And that massively increases the risk from a sequence of returns. Imagine hitting your number, retiring, and then bam, the market crashes the next year.
Oof. Yeah.
You're selling assets when they're down just to live, which depletes your portfolio much faster, leaving less to recover when things bounce back. It's a serious hurdle.
Wow. Okay. That's a critical point. But with all these numbers, what's the most powerful thing someone can actually control to make FIRE happen? Because you hear different things.
Yeah. The single biggest lever, it's your savings rate. Honestly, this is often way more impactful than how much you actually earn.
Really? More than income?
Think about it. Someone making, say, $50,000 a year but saving 50% of it. They're on roughly the same track to FIRE as someone making $1 million and saving 50%. A 50% savings rate can potentially cut a traditional 40-plus year career down to, 17 years.
17 years. That's incredible.
And that's where compounding interest really kicks in. The money you save early starts working for you, earning returns, which then earn their own returns. It's that snowball effect.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cutting decades off a career. Staggering. And I guess because people approach this differently, there's a whole spectrum of FIRE now.
Oh, absolutely. It's not one size fits all. You've got lean FIRE, super frugal, aiming for maybe $40,000 a year or even less. Then there's fat FIRE on the other end, maintaining or even upgrading a pretty lavish lifestyle, maybe $100,000 plus annually.
Right.
And in between, you find things like barista FIRE. You've saved a good chunk, enough to cover most things, but you work part-time, maybe for benefits like healthcare or just some extra cash.
Healthcare is a big one.
Huge. And then there's coast FIRE. That's where you save aggressively early on, build up a decent nest egg, and then just let it coast. Let compounding do the heavy lifting until a more traditional retirement age without needing to save much more later.
Interesting. So what's the actual playbook look like? How do people do this?
Well, the practical side often starts with really aggressive expense cutting, usually hitting the big three: housing, transport, food.
Downsizing, ditching the car, cooking everything.
Pretty much, yeah. Or finding creative ways to cut those costs significantly. At the same time, you're trying to maximize income promotions, raises, side hustles.
Right, and investing.
The common approach is low-cost index funds, ETFs. Keep it simple, keep fees low, get broad market exposure, and crucially, using tax-advantaged accounts, 401k, IRAs, HSAs if you have them, letting that money grow tax-free or tax-deferred makes a massive difference over time.
Okay, so this brings us to the big one. Can anyone actually pull this off?
In theory, maybe. Because the savings rate is key, it's mathematically possible even on a modest income. But let's be real, the practical difficulty of saving 50% or more when you're not earning a lot, it's immense.
Yeah, requires huge sacrifices.
It really boils down to individual willingness and ability to make those sacrifices. It's not easy.
And what about after? You hit the number, you quit the job. Then what? Is there a dark side?
There can be. People talk about the now what problem. You spent years laser focused on this goal, and suddenly it's achieved. Boredom can set in, maybe a loss of identity if your job was a big part of who you were. It highlights that money, it only solves money problems. It doesn't automatically create purpose or happiness.
That's a really important point.
And practically, like we touched on, figuring out healthcare before Medicare kicks in, that's a massive financial and logistical challenge for many early retirees, especially in the U.S.
Okay, so wrapping this up. FIRE isn't necessarily this magic bullet for everyone retiring super young.
No, probably not. Retiring in your 30s or 40s via FIRE requires intense focus and sacrifice that just isn't realistic or even desirable for everybody. However, the core principles, intentional spending, saving aggressively, investing wisely, those are gold. They can improve anyone's financial health, whatever their retirement goal is.
Right. So maybe instead of just asking, how do I save X million dollars, the deeper question FIRE pushes us towards is, what kind of life do I actually want to live? And then how can financial independence in whatever form help me get there? It's like you need to build up not just financial capital, but purpose capital too. Really thinking about designing your life, not just chasing a number. Something to think about.